Knicks family, what's poppin'? It's your boy. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I started over because we had a grave mistake on the first go around. So here we go. It is blackout day in Knicks land. Knicks Nation. Tom Thibodeau said it's blackout day. You're not coming to the Westchester practice facility. You're not coming to the Garden. I want you to sit home and chill and relax. So that's what we're doing on NBK. It's blackout day, ladies and gentlemen. No structure to the show. We're just going to talk. We'll take some questions. We'll take some phone calls. That's how we're going to do it today. So let's go ahead and get into blackout day. You know, I'm only here for about a half an hour. I got practice at 5 o'clock. So I got Andy in the building. Nate's in the building. And it's blackout day, ladies and gentlemen. How you guys doing today, man? How you feeling? Andy, how you feeling?
What up, Sim? Happy to be on as usual. And I'm actually happy that this is a blackout day because, you know, last week I'm almost on like every evening. My wife is watching a TV show tonight, so I got, you know, like you said, exactly like a half an hour off before, you know, going to bed. So that's fine. Probably we're gonna move only a few topics, but it's gonna be a good convo.
Yeah, just a few topics, man. I'm not even gonna switch what it says at the bottom of the screen. We're just gonna keep it there. It's blackout there. We're just gonna talk. We'll take questions from the chat. All of that, man. Nate, what's going on with you? You look like you just woke up.
Yeah, I'm gonna go sleep later. I'm like Andy. Yeah, man, doing good. Haven't been on in a while. I guess it's maybe a good thing. The Knicks been winning, so hey, you know, don't want to jinx it.
They've been winning, man. They've been doing
previously anymore.
they've been doing their thing, man.
Yeah, man.
They've been
it's
doing
exciting.
their thing.
It's exciting.
Yeah,
I'm happy for the Knicks, man. Knicks fans have been wanting this for a long time.
Long time.
Just keep up the momentum. Keep up the momentum. That's all I gotta say.
No doubt. Long time. Last night's game was a battle. It was a battle between two Eastern Conference foes trying to stake claim to that fourth seed, and the Knicks. It was like a war of attrition last night. Everybody was going down. Todd Gibson went down with a lacerated eye. Nerlens Noel got hit in the jaw, had a lacerated lip. He went down for some possessions for some time there in the third quarter or whenever it was. Maybe it was fourth quarter. I don't know. Trae Young ended up going out. Clint Capella, he went down and hurt his back for a minute after stepping on Derrick Rose's foot. It was like the war of attrition last night. The Knicks made it out. They made it out last night, but I'm telling you, man, the Atlanta Hawks are for real. They're another team that's for real. And they didn't even play with all of their weapons. Right? They didn't even have all of their weapons. They're going to be a tough out when it comes to the playoffs. They are. They're going to be a real tough out. But I'm surprised. I am surprised that Tom Thibodeau gave the team just a straight up day off to say, hey, don't do anything. Relax. You know, I guess get your body right, get your mind off of everything, and then come back fresh tomorrow. But I'm glad that he did do that. You know what I'm saying? The Knicks, they've been going and pulling out games that it seemed like they were dead in the water. So it's good for them to just try to get a fresh come back Friday with a fresh mindset, ready to play on Saturday and take out the Toronto Raptors. What do you think, Andy? Good thing?
Yeah, I was exactly thinking about this when I saw the quote from Quickly. This is really important from a more mental standpoint, I believe, because they're in top shape and form of the season and stuff like that. But I think it's really hard mentally on them to be tip top on their basketball game and like you were saying, shows and shows back that they are really focused on defense, on offense. They didn't have those lapses. So I think like one day of no basketball is going to make them reset, get back that hunger, that energy to play basketball. That's why I think that one day, for real, even IQ, bro, just play Fortnite with Knox, and then come back on Friday. It's probably gonna be still in a little bit easier practice. But then again, if I'm the players, I'm asking myself, what's Tom has in plan, in store for us on Friday if we're gonna get a day off today, right?
Right.
So that might be a tricky thing, but like I said before, I think it's really good from the mental standpoint, just to come clean and get that hunger back, just to play basketball.
Yeah. What do you think, Nate?
Yeah, I look at it more. I mean, on the surface, you're going to look at it as like a day to let their bodies rest and all that. I'm looking at it more as like a reward. Like, this team has fought so hard and got, nobody gave them a shot in hell of even being in the playoffs. And you're talking about them being the 4th seed, and the fact that they're on an 8-game winning streak. And this is a young team. I feel like this is just like a reward. Like, hey guys, for your hard work, I'm just going to give you the day off. You guys enjoy yourselves, stay out of trouble, come back Friday ready to go. It's just a reward, that for their hard work. And I mean, what shocks me is that Tibbs even did this. That tells me that he's really adjusting to this young team and understanding that, you can't always yell at them. Sometimes you gotta reward them. You gotta give them a fun day. That, Sam, you're a coach. Sometimes maybe when you've played a really tough game and, maybe that next day you just want to give them a fun day, maybe let them just shoot around, have some fun, play some good games, just relax and enjoy themselves. Because sometimes, with the grind coming up and this season about to end, he's going to need them at the total mindset, like Andy was saying.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Kev, it's blackout day for the New York Knicks. You like what Tom Thibodeau did? We always talk about, hey, he doesn't rest the guys. Nobody gets a chance to, RJ Barrett, Julius Randle, these guys are dinged up and this and that. Well, he gives them a rest day. And maybe chill out with the narratives that he doesn't rest the guys, because here we go. He's giving them a day to rest. Then they'll get back into practice on Friday, tomorrow.
Back to the lab.
Yeah, they get back in the lab without a mic to grab.
It just shows me that times are changing. I think as people, as human beings, we can always learn from our past mistakes, their opportunities. And I believe that now Tibbs has had 2 stints, one with Chicago and one with Minnesota. I think he has learned from those experiences that you're right. You can't work everybody, to the bone. And for him to do this, that shows a growth on his part, and not so much the players on his part, because he is the coach, and he's noticing how close to the finish line. I mean, it's still a lot to go. But he does realize that it's somewhat coming to the end, and he wants his guys fresh and ready to go into battle. And I'm just glad that he's doing this right now.
Yeah. I'm glad he's doing it right now as well. Just a perfect day for him to take a break. I want to let everybody know we're taking a lot of questions, man. Throw your questions in the chat, and we'll take it from there. It's a blackout day, so there's no set conversational piece or no set structure to the show. We're just having discussions, man. We're just talking and having discussions for the next half hour. I did see a question about Taj Gibson in the chat. Has anyone heard anything about Taj Gibson and how long he might be out?
No, sir, I have not.
Yeah,
I have not.
Yeah, man. You know what was crazy? You know what was crazy? If you listen to the game, they were discussing how because Taj Gibson did not, and I don't know what's wrong with this window here, why it keeps doing that. I just got to create a new scene, I guess. Because Taj Gibson did not have, he got hit in the face, right? And
which was BS by the officials to call that that on him, but.
No, they didn't call it on him. They didn't call it on him. The foul was.
Oh, they didn't. No, that was the. Oh, you know what? That was Norman's. I got totally wrong player. That was Norman's.
He got the foul call. But here's a crazy rule, right? So he got fouled. If let's say he was shooting free throws, if he was not able to shoot the free throws, then he wouldn't have been able to return to the game. Luckily. Yeah, he didn't return to the game anyway. But luckily, the Knicks were, he didn't have to shoot free throws. And because he went back to the locker room, it didn't matter. He would have been able to return to the game. But if he was shooting free throws and he could not shoot the free throws and somebody else on the team had to shoot the free throws, Taj Gibson would not have been able to return to the game. And I guess they do it so that teams don't cheat, right? And say, hey, this guy is hurt. He can't shoot the free throws. We need somebody else. Because let's say the guy you fouled shot 30% from the free throw line. Guaranteed everybody else on the team shoots better than that guy. Right? And now if you're a coach, you might tell that guy, hey, if we're in the fourth quarter, 2 minutes left, and you got to shoot free throws, I want you to fall down like you broke your leg or something like that, and so that somebody else can shoot the free throws.
Paul Pierce.
Right. So I guess that's the rule, and that's the reason why that rule is in place. I think that should be a little bit more subjective than just here's the rule. I mean, Taj Gibson, he was bleeding. So let's say free throws, let's say he was going up, which he was kind of going up. I guess he hadn't gotten into the motion of getting to the going up to the basket yet. But let's say he did go up and he got hit in the eye and he couldn't shoot the free throws because his eye was bleeding. He went back to the locker room and got stitched up and was, healthy enough to come back to the game. He wouldn't have been able to come back to the game. And I don't think that's fair when a player gets fouled, no fault of his own. He gets fouled, but he can't come back to the game because he had to go get stitches. I don't think that's fair.
Yeah,
I can
really
understand
change that rule.
So I think there should be a little bit more discretion in the rule to say, hey, you know what? This guy was legitimately fouled. He legitimately had an injury where he needed to take a break. We can let him come back to the game. Because that could be something that ends up hurting a team. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Luckily, it didn't impact the game last night. Yeah, go ahead, Nate.
Did you see that Pell got a multi-year contract with the Knicks?
Yep.
And it makes me wonder. I mean, I don't think Gibson will be out that long, but two things. They like what they saw in Pell, and they need insurance just in case Gibson goes down. But also, too, maybe Gibson might be out a couple of games, and maybe that's why they made Pell.
Well,
they took away that.
Well, there's a couple things at play there. He had already had 2 10-day contracts, right? Two 10-day contracts. Right, so you can't have.
They had to make a decision on it.
Yeah, after the second 10-day contract, you got to make a decision.
Can't give him a third one.
Right, you got to make a decision. Let me get to a caller here. Caller, you live. What's popping?
Hey, hello. You hear me, Sim?
Yeah, I can hear you, bro.
Yeah, what's going on, my dude? How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. Doing good, feeling good. How about you?
Yeah, I'm doing great, man. Listen up, man. I have a question. Well, I have a few questions, actually, but I'm going to keep it short.
All right.
I feel like, what was the reason why they traded Austin Rivers? Because I feel like when they traded Austin Rivers, that might kind of hurt them. on the offensive end. So what's your intake on that? And do you think Kyle Lowry is a free agent this year? This upsummer?
Yeah, Kyle Lowry is definitely going to be a free agent this summer, and we'll see if the Knicks will be in play. I hope that the Knicks will be in play for Kyle Lowry because I think he's a really good. He'd be a really good point guard for the Knicks to have. Now, Derrick Rose is playing out of his mind right now, so the thing with Derrick Rose is you never know if he's going to be healthy. You know what I'm saying? As far as Austin Rivers, I think Tom Thibodeau wasn't really happy with the role and the way that he was playing. So, he was buried on the bench. And Austin Rivers wasn't happy about it. Austin Rivers wanted to be playing. He wasn't happy about it. Now he's found a spot over there in Denver now that, Jamal Murray went down, unfortunately, with a torn ACL. So Austin Rivers found him a spot on a championship contender.
But I also have another question. Even though I feel like Kyle Lowry may not come here this summer, something in my mind is like that, but you never know. But however, what's your opinion on Kyle Quinn? Like, is it possible you could possibly bring him back? Because this team, I'm watching this team, I feel like they need more big men. They need like one or two more big men.
Mm-hmm.
And they need like a good point guard and pretty much maybe a consistent scorer to come off the bench. If you have that, then I'm pretty sure that the Knicks will be good.
Yeah,
will be better actually.
Okay, as far as Kyle Quinn, I do think that Kyle Quinn is the kind of center. Power forward / center that would work well with Tom Thibodeau and, fit exactly what Tom Thibodeau likes to do as far as, rebounding the basketball. He's a good defender. He's a tough-nosed guy. He's a high character guy. A lot of people say that they don't like him because of, whatever he said about the Knicks, when he left the organization. But look, he was speaking the truth, bottom line. I think that Kyle Quinn would fit nicely with this group. I don't know how much interest they have. They do have one roster spot available, and I'm interested to see where they go with that roster spot.
I mean, but this summer, though, I mean, with the Kyle Quinn's perspective, I think they should give it to him because the last time he was here, people forget that the Knicks was trash at that time. Mm-hmm. But this summer, are they going to have to switch? Are they going to have enough cap space for Kyle Lowry?
Oh, yeah, they would. They would. The Knicks are going to have this summer, and this is keeping R.J. Barrett, keeping Julius Randle. You already got these guys under contract anyway. Emmanuel Quickly, Obi Toppin, everyone you got under contract. The Knicks are going to have between $50 and $60 million available in cap space, somewhere around there, something like that. So
because Sim, let me tell you this, right? As I watch this team, right?
Mm-hmm.
The players I said, if they get them, if they gelling well, I feel that they could possibly beat the Sixers if they add those players.
Well, okay. I mean, listen.
And this year, for this season, I prefer them to be in the 4th, 5th seed, so they can avoid the big teams in the first round and possibly have a chance to make it to the second round and play Philly in the second round. I'd rather play Philly in the second round than to play Brooklyn or Milwaukee.
No, definitely. I agree with you there. We'll see what happens, man.
Are they going to beat Philly?
Well, I mean, that's a tough order. Philly's a good team. It's a tough order. But hey, I know I got some other people calling. I appreciate your input. And Tom Thibodeau started something new, so we'll probably try to have a blackout day once a week.
One last thing before I go.
Yeah.
They kind of messed up when they let Woodson go, because I feel like with Woodson there was more tougher on the defensive end.
Well, I mean, they almost didn't have a choice in the matter, you know. Woodson made that decision that he wanted to go with Indiana. It's not too much that we can do about that one right there. I appreciate the call, my man. Not really that much we can do there. You know, I mean, I guess they could have said, no, you can't interview, but I don't think that would have been right. Caller, you live. What's popping?
Yes, hello?
Yeah, I'm here, brother. How you feeling?
The one thing I want to say is Julius is the MVP of the season.
You think he's the straight up MVP of the season? I would love. Listen, I definitely think he's going to be in the running for MVP. I don't know if he's exactly going to be the MVP, but he should definitely be in the running for MVP. No doubt about that.
I'm strictly speaking from a Knicks fan.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, he's definitely in the top 5.
Yeah. I mean, listen, from a Knicks standpoint, he's probably more important to our team than any other player is to their team. Yeah, no doubt.
No, facts. I mean, the thing is that they don't have the right players. Like, they always talk about the same players. Like, nobody talks about Devin Booker, Donovan Mitchell. Like, they barely got in the All-Star game. And their teams are the best team in the conference. And they're the number one reasons why. And they still don't get no clout. That's just crazy how it's like biased.
I mean, people who when you talk about the MVP voting, it's done by the media. So
yeah, I'm just excited, and I'm appreciating that we finally have like an MVP level player on the team.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
You know what I mean? It wasn't just given, no red roses, no red carpet treatment. He just earned it straight up.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Hey, my man, I appreciate the call. We don't have a lot of time, so I know there's people that want to get in. So, we're moving through them a little bit quickly today. Appreciate you, bro. What do you guys think, man? Andy, Julius Randle, he's got to be in the MVP conversation, right?
Well, he's definitely going to be in the conversation. Will he win it? Probably no, because, there are at least a couple of players probably better than him. But for the Knicks, no doubt he's the most valuable player on this current Knicks roster squad, right? So, no, it's not even a question.
Yeah.
It would be insulting.
Go ahead, Nate.
Yeah, it would be insulting if he was not didn't get any votes at all. I mean, I think he at least deserves some votes for it because he took this team literally on the shoulders and put them at the 4th seed. The problem is that the Knicks were they had to work their way up the whole season. So, if Julius had them at the 2nd or 1st seed, I mean, yeah, there's a huge argument that he could have been the MVP. There's no doubt about that. You take the Knicks from the terrible years of the past, and you put him at the 1 and 2 spot. There's no way in doubt. There's no doubt in my mind that he would be the leader in the MVP votes. But because they had to start from the bottom up, and it was a progression thing. I think he deserves some votes, but yeah, he's not going to win, unfortunately.
It all depends on what the writers, that's who chooses the writers, right? The media.
Yeah.
Yeah. It all depends on what their mind is.
Well, it usually goes to the best teams too, whoever's on the best
teams.
Right
there. Well, here's the thing, Nate. Let me ask you this. If we somehow miraculously move up to the 3rd seed, passing Milwaukee, he definitely should get some I'm looking at that. Got to.
But his numbers aren't as good as Embiid and Joker's. That's the thing. It's gonna be a big man this year for sure.
Yeah.
But Embiid and Joker, are like at the top echelon, and Randall's right under that. category.
Right. I just don't want like your LeBrons or your Davises or your Durants. I don't want none of those guys winning. I don't want those guys get it, because if they do, then that's a slap in the face. I'll go with you on Jokic and Embiid. I'll go with you all 100% on that. But if it's
Julius should be first team. Yeah,
I agree
Julius should be
too.
First team.
I agree with that too.
That's a fact. He should definitely be first team.
Yeah, he should get that. I mean, I think he's a shoo-in for most improved. I think he's a shoo-in for that. And I'm gonna go on a limb. I think Tibbs should get Coach of the Year. I know they'll probably look at Snyder or Monty from the Suns. I don't think Quickly will get he won't get Rookie of the Year, but he should be on that first team all rookie. And all defense, I was hearing some people today, you can make an argument for Nolan well to get some nods at either the first team or second team at least. I know he won't get Defensive Player of the Year, because that's going to I believe that's going to Gobert as it is.
Or Ben Simmons.
Or Ben Simmons, right. But he has to get either a first team or second team nod. So
I mean, there's a really good chance that it goes to Gobert, because Gobert is mentioned in MVP in the MVP voting. He's mentioned in the MVP voting. So I think there's a very good chance that the MVP goes to Gobert.
Hello.
You know what I mean?
Hello.
Very good.
The defensive MVP you're talking about, right?
Hello.
Yes. Defensive player. Well, defensive player of the year.
Yeah. Listen, let me tell people, when you call in, and I know it's a blackout day, when you call in, we might be in the middle of a conversation, so you got to hold on for a second, and I'll get to you. So if I pick up the phone, just listen to the conversation. Don't say hello, hello, hello while we're in the middle of the conversation. I will get to you.
Sounds like that door song. Hello, hello.
Yeah, we will get to you. You know what I'm saying? We will get to you. I promise. Let me ask you, Andy, are you looking for the third seed? Right? Do you want to get up and go get the third seed, or are you content with the fourth seed? Because what's the difference?
I'll tell you.
We were having this discussion last night. What's the difference?
Yeah, I didn't see this show last night. I'm like 20 minutes in only. But I'm thinking that I'm not like aiming for it. I'm just resetting the goals, and I'm trying to go with my point of view, which is, get as many wins as possible out of the next 10 games. And, that's also because we're on that mid part of the homestand. So we got next 3 games at home, which is Toronto, Phoenix, and Chicago. And then we go on the 6-game away trip, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm trying to get the team, that 6-4 record, at least 6-4, 5-5, maybe we can handle it on the next 10 games. And then it's going to be like last few games of the season. So you don't look at the third, like, you're trying to win and pressure yourself, for every win, because the Bucks they have like 5 games above in the loss column versus us, right? If I'm correct.
Right.
So,
I was looking at that, yeah.
they would have to be, going on a way, long losing streak. Meanwhile, we would have to, keep up with the wins. And I don't know if, Chester's T-shirt is going to hang on that long. It might be stiff, in a couple of games. So,
but if we did catch them, what would you say then?
Bro, you gotta go for it. I'm not gonna be okay. We're gonna lose the last game because we don't want to be the third seed.
Right.
No, you go get it. But it's like of course you want to be the highest as possible, because you have the best chances for not only the seeding, just the future matchups, right?
Right.
So, but I'm not setting a goal like we gotta get better than Milwaukee.
No, not at all. But
2 games to go, we were at the 6th seed. If we lost a game, we would be down to the 7th or whatever. So, let's, not choke with the spoon, just eat one by one. Okay.
Yeah.
So.
But here's the thing. Go ahead, Nate. Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, I think it doesn't really matter to you the third or fourth seed, because as long as you're hosting the home games first, because here's the thing with a young team, you want, hopefully, God willing, we can get more people in the Garden. But can you imagine if we get the first couple of games in the Garden? Because they still do that seating, right? 2, 2, 3, 2,
4
right?
and 5, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. So if you get the first 2 games of the Garden, that gives us a lot of momentum. And then we go on the road for 3, and then we come back for 2 if we have to. I mean, I don't know about you, but I'd love to start the playoffs in the Garden, get that momentum going and the crowd going, and the young guys will be hyped up and ready to go. So I think the 3 or 4 seed, as long as we stay within that 3 or 4 seed, I think we'll be fine, because that guarantees us at least we're going to host the playoffs first.
No, I'm really happy with the 4th or the 5th seed, because that way you're not gonna have Milwaukee, the Sixers, or the Nets in the first round, and I think that's a key thing for us. I'm not saying that it's gonna be a cakewalk to the second round if we get to play versus Heat, the Hawks, or Boston. But, I think it's way more possible to get over those 3 teams than versus the top 3 in the East.
Well, but here's the thing. Sorry, Kev.
No. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, here's the thing. If we get past the first round, I mean, as Knicks fans, we should be elated. I mean, taking a team that's average age is probably, 22, 23 years old, whatever, give or take. I don't know. A first-year coach. And, you want to play against the best. There's just no doubt about it. I don't want to run from a team. Exactly. And the fact is, if we can get past the first round and go into a battle with the Sixers or Bucks, hey, what's to say? Who knows what's going to happen? But I want to play against the best. And like I said, if we get our butts handed to us, hey, next year we know what we're striving for. We know what we need to build on to beat those teams. So that's just my opinion. I want to play the best. So if we get to past the first round, I don't care who we play. Let's just do it. Let's just get it done. And the Knicks season's already a win already, in my opinion.
Yeah.
It's only gravy on top now.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I was listening to your thing this morning, Sim. I'm with agreement with Nate. I don't care who we play. The way we're playing right now, when we're down men, that's just a testament to what this team is standing for. I mean, the way we play on defense, and if we need to score, what I'm loving is how everyone is looking for each other. The way Randall is setting up your Bullocks, the way he's setting up your Quickly, the way he's setting up whoever, the way Derrick Rose is scoring. I think this is a real rebirth for Derrick Rose. I really do. Since he left Chicago and the stint with us, and then the stints other places that I can't name, he looks totally different from when he was on those other teams. I think he has a renewed confidence and a renewed sense of what he has to do. And again, the way they're playing on the defensive end, it's just incredible. All right, so they may slip in the first half, but in the second half, they come out like gangbangers. They make the other team feel them. And that's why I think they're peaking at the right time. And who knows when they'll lose their next game. But I fear, after seeing the body of work that they've put in, I'm not afraid of anybody. I'm not afraid of Philly. I'm not afraid of Brooklyn. I'm not afraid of Milwaukee. I'm not afraid of Miami. And those teams that I named, other than Milwaukee, those teams that I named, I want another crack at them. I really do. And if we get to play them, I think there'll be a much, much better outcome than the way we played them before.
I mean, I do think that we can beat anybody at least in one game. What happens in a 7-game series, who knows? You know what I'm saying? I think that what the Knicks need to do is continue to build, continue to grow, and refine their games. You know what I'm saying? Keep working on and developing those little things that are going to allow them to be successful, when it comes to the playoffs, because that's what they're doing right now. I seen someone ask about Mitch in the chat. AK Sauergard, he said, what's the word on Mitch? I I doubt. I don't know. I haven't heard anything about Mitch and his progress. I doubt he's coming back this season, though. I don't think he's coming back this season.
There's no timetable for Mitch yet. So
Yeah.
It would be great. It would be great if we met Philly in the Eastern Conference Final and he comes back. Oh my God! Because we need every available body for that
foot injury, man. I don't think he's gonna come back. That foot injury is too bad.
Yeah, for that dude. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, listen, first things first.
He's that guy.
Yeah, first things first, though. You got to make sure he's healthy, man.
Yes,
that's the first thing. He's got to be healthy.
Get paid, man. I don't think.
Right. That's the other thing too. That's the other thing. He's trying to get paid as well.
Right, because
again, I love my chances.
It's almost guaranteed now that. Well, the Knicks were always going to pick up, in my opinion. They were always going to pick up the option this year. Now the question is, what do you do? Do you pick up the option and then offer him over the summer, offer him an extension? Or do you wait so that you can, see him play next season? Right? Because, there's several things. Or, and I hope I got this right, you could not pick up the option and let him go into free agency this summer, I believe. And if he goes into free agency this summer, am I right, Andy? I think if he goes into free agency this summer, he's a restricted free agent.
Right, we can match it.
Right, and we can match any offer.
Yeah. Listen, I think Leon. Oh, go ahead.
Or we could wait until next summer, and he'd be, if we don't offer him an extension, then he'd be an unrestricted free agent in 2022. Right, so we'd have to decide what to do, how to move forward, and it's a tough call. So you can pick up his option, which they will, and then offer him an extension. And if they did that, he'd get paid $1.8 million next year or whatever it is, and then his extension would pick up in 2022. You could offer him, you could pick up his option and then tell him, you go into free agency this summer, see what you're worth, and then we'll match it, or they'll decide what they want to do. They could do that, right? Or I'm sorry, they could not pick up his extension and just let him go into free agency this summer and then the Knicks match it. Or they could pick up his option and then next summer let him be an unrestricted free agent. So let me clear that up and say it again, just so we got it straight. Because I messed up just a little bit. Let me clear it up and say it again. Right? They can pick up his option. And then offer him an extension. And if they picked up his option, they'd pay him $1.8 million or whatever it is for next season. And then in 2022, 2023, the contract extension would kick in. Or they could not pick up his option and let him go into free agency this summer, 2021, and he would be a restricted free agent. Or they can pick up his option, not offer him an extension, and then in the summer of 2022, he would be an unrestricted free agent. So, those are kind of the options that they have for Mitchell Robinson. And we'll see what they choose to do.
You know what I would do? You know what I would do, Sim?
What would you do?
If I was the GM? I would pick up his option, and I would make him a restricted free agent, let him test the market. I think a lot of people are a little wary about the injuries, the hand.
You can't do that. You can't pick up his option and let him become a restricted free agent. If he's going to be a restricted free agent this summer, you won't be picking up his option.
Okay, scratch that. Don't pick up his option. Let him be a restricted free agent. Let him test the market, see what the value is with those injuries. I mean, he's still young, so who's going to really overpay him a deal? And then honestly, I mean, unless there's a poison pill and they give like a crazy offer, I would extend Noel. I would definitely.
I don't know if you can extend Noel. I think he's just an unrestricted free agent at the end of this summer. I do think that they'll pick it back up. Yeah,
okay.
Noel is just an unrestricted free agent. So,
whatever. Make a deal with Noel. Keep Noel
him.
and
yeah. Go ahead.
Keep
Andy.
Noel and.
Yeah, I was gonna piggyback on what Nate said about the poison pill thing. It can be the Jeremy Lin situation, all over again. So, for example, a crappy team, like an example, the Houston Rockets are gonna make an offer to Mitch. Let's say they're gonna give him $18 million in the first year, and then they can have get him like 15 and 15, right? And the Knicks, I don't think we can, what's the word here? Cut into the salary cap space for next season for the 18 million pencil in for Mitch, when you have like the 60 million to get maybe possibly two big free agents, not maybe max free agents, but at least two big free agents. And you got to cut into that cap space, for Mitch in about 18 million if you want to match it out, right? So I think the better situation is extend the qualifying offer. So he has to play for 1.8 million or whatever is the money going to be for the next season. And don't wait till even probably the season starts. Just sign an extension with him, like negotiate, I don't know, 10, 12 million, whatever you want the number to be. Mm-hmm. If you want it to be smaller, then make it for longer, right? And and sign it so that it kicks in after the season, but you're gonna have already the deal signed. You don't know what's gonna happen through the whole season. You might be you might lose on it, but you might also gain really, really much. But then again, if you wait till he's on an unrestricted free agent, the only thing we have more to offer Mitch is 1 year longer of a contract. That's the only choice, we're going to have versus the offers. For example, a team comes in and says, okay, Mitch, we're going to be giving you 20 million a year, right? The Knicks can say, okay, we can give you 20 million a year, but we can give that one extra year. So if a team offers 4 years, we can give them 5, because, the teams that are, that didn't have the player on the roster, the maximum years they can give a player is 4 years, right? And the Knicks can offer that 1 year longer contract, which means an extra 20 million. But in Mitch's situation, if he's so young, I don't think that 1 year, he might even ask to be the contract a little bit shorter so he can sign, for example, for 25 or 30 million a year that time. But that's a gamble, one thing on side of the team, the other thing, the side of the player, right? If he believes in himself, he might think, listen, I'm just going to take a 2-year deal because I'm going to be so good in 2 years and I'm going to sign, 35 million per year, right? We don't know what's the economy going to be back, in this future 2 years with the virus or whatever. But, it's a gamble on both sides, as always.
Yeah. That's
going to take 12 million a year. Yeah, that's my question.
It's going to be a tough one, a tough decision with Mitch. It would be nice. It would really be nice if we made it to the second round of the playoffs and then Mitch was able to come back. That would be beautiful. I'm going to get to a phone call. Then I have one last question that I want to ask, and then I'm going to get up out of here. Caller, you live. What's popping?
Hey, Simeon. How's it going?
Pretty good, man. How's it going with you?
I'm enjoying this winning streak right now by the Knicks. It's been heaven so far as a fan.
Yeah, man. It's been real heaven so far as a fan. It's been beautiful. It's been beautiful.
It's been great. I feel like we're back in the 90s right now when the Knicks are an elite team, at least briefly right now. I'm starting to get my expectations a little bit higher. I'm hoping that we play an easy 5th seed, that we keep the 4th seed, I like to play the Hawks or the Hornets. It would be a great matchup.
Yeah. Well, I'm not crazy about playing the Hawks. I'm not crazy about playing. Listen, we got to play somebody, so I guess it doesn't really matter. But we just know that those teams are going to be tough. Playing the Hawks. Yeah. The Hawks. I mean, we seen them last night, man. Their offense can be scary, and when they get everybody back, it can be double scary.
I agree with you. One point I would make is I would prefer the Hawks to the Hornets because they don't have experience. Whereas we play a team like the Celtics or Miami, they have the experience, so they will be harder to take out in a 7-game series because they have veteran players who've been through it.
I get it. Yeah, I get that. I definitely get that. I just feel like the style of play that we have to go, to go up against the Hawks. I'm not sure we can sustain it. That's my fear when talking about the Hawks. The scoring at that clip. I'm just not sure we can. But hey, maybe we can. I don't know. Maybe we can. I guess we'll be finding out very soon.
You're right. One point I'd like to make about the MVP candidates, like I think the favorites right now is Jokic and Embiid, but Julius should definitely get consideration. If the Knicks keep the 4th seed, you got to respect what he has done this year. Not many players in the league could have had the success that he's had with the Knicks outside of LeBron, Durant, and a few others. So Julius has been on another level this year.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Hey, my man, I appreciate the call. I got to get going because I got basketball practice in 20 minutes. So I got to head up out of here, but I appreciate your time, man.
You're welcome.
All right, have a good one. Real quick, guys, the Knicks 3-point shooting has been, it's been on point, especially over this winning streak. You heard Clyde ask the question, like, how they become such good shooters? And Tom Thibodeau was like, well, they work on it a lot, especially in shoot-arounds and those type of things. What do you think, man? We're shooting the ball like crazy from the 3-point line. Andy?
For me, it's all about the extra time after the games, before the games, on off days or whatever. They just putting up hundreds of shots more than probably the rest of the league at this point.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you got a habit.
Yeah.
So.
And you got the whole thing where Julius Randle explained when they get to another city, and it started by Kobe.
Look for a gym.
Look for a gym. They all go in there and just, get shots up. You know what I mean? That extra work, man, definitely pays off in the end. Nate, you have any thoughts on that?
Yeah.
Looks like Nate.
A lot of gym. That's the big improvement of Julius' shot. You there?
Yeah. You were freezing up a little bit.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, you got a bunch of gym rats. I mean, look at RJ's shot improved. Look at Julius's shot improved. I mean, these guys want to be great. Let's just say what it is. They value, practice, getting shots up, especially after games where they lose or they don't shoot well. I love it. They get in the gym, and Tibbs probably has to tell them, like, go home, and they just want to keep shooting and get better. I love that. I think every coach wants to see their players do that.
Yeah.
So, props to them, and hey, man, keep it up.
Yeah, that's the reason why he had to give him a blackout day, because these guys work.
Exactly.
I want to give a shout out to my man Chester. Chester's been rocking this NBK shirt since the beginning of the winning streak. Every game.
Keep it up.
Every game he's been rocking this shirt, man. Shout out to Chester. He's been wearing this shirt for 8 straight games. The Knicks have 8 straight wins. We're trying to keep it going, ladies and gentlemen. Blackout Day here on NBK. I think this is something we're gonna do once a week on the Shootaround. We'll have one day a blackout day, one day where we just bring in and have a whole bunch of other stuff. I think it's a good idea. Thanks, Tom. I'm glad you gave me the idea. You know what I mean? I know there was a lot of mistakes on today with the video and stuff like that. It won't be like that the next time, though. All right? We're going to head up out of here because I got to get to practice. I appreciate you guys. Blackout Day, ladies and gentlemen. My man Chester rocking an MBK shirt. And if you go look below your video, you can click on one of those. There's hats, there's shirts, and all of that, and get yourself an MBK shirt, ladies and gentlemen. We're out of here. Shout out to you, Chester. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Blackout Day, ladies and gentlemen. Blackout Day.
Peace, peace.
For the New York Knicks. It's beautiful. We're heading out. Be peaceful. Take care of yourself. And, remember the Queen's Court tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen. Got the Queen's Court tomorrow.